Good morning. Today we have a very special guest. I guess what would you call yourself? The
The
mind, the brains behind Ample
Ample
Mind.
Minds podcast. Yes, I am the host slash moderator of Ample Minds podcast, the one and only Richie. Thank you guys for having me, bro.
Oh no
Unusual
no.
friends. I checked you guys out beforehand. You guys are dope, and you guys are legit. You guys got the two cameras. I only got one. You got an actual studio crew, studio crew going around. So man, I'm loving it. So it's cool to be behind the scenes on another podcast, to kind of pick your guys' brains, and likewise.
Appreciate it. We
Absolutely, man.
we had been working on like trying to pick somebody's brains in the game too, because it's kind of weird. Like we've never ever interviewed anybody who
Okay.
has their own podcast
Yeah.
just yet. This is gonna be the first one.
That's dope, man.
So it's kind of cool too, because you run your show completely solo, right?
Completely solo, man. I just go ahead and my own camera, set up my studio, and then I film myself. I edit myself. So I mean, it does kind of get exhausting, but when you like to do it, right? It doesn't seem like all that taxing. But yeah, I just go ahead and get people on there, film it. I got to edit the audio, so any unwanted noise, I do that myself. It's time in terms of the video, I do the color grading myself. I do the low effects and stuff like that. But yeah, it just gets a little, interesting at times when you don't. Since I'm like guest based almost, I'm trying to find that transition of okay, there's only so many people I can get on my podcast, and if I want to do it weekly, how's that gonna work? So I'm trying to transition to like, kind of have people on there, and then kind of do it myself where I can, just talk about anything I want. Like you guys just talk about anything you guys want, right? You guys, that's the luxury of it. But so that's cool. I'm trying to find that balance between me, interviewing people, because my podcast is based off, picking other people's brains. And I started off with just, me having a situation where I had a DUI, right? And that just changed my whole perspective on everything. So I was like, well, one, let me learn from my mistakes, and how can I get better with the one life that I do have, right? And that's just you only are as good as the people around you. You're only as good as the people that you choose to learn from and pick from, because there's ample brains that you can pick from. It's just up to you to go ahead and get the information and go ahead and apply it. So that's where the kind of ample minds, idea kind of came up, because there's ample brains that you can pick from. So there you go.
So would that be? Let's go to the beginning. When did you decide, like, all right, because we talk about a little bit about how we kind of got into it, and it was mainly just like who were bullshitting every day, pretty much hanging out together, and we started. He got me into watching podcasts. I never really fucking watched any podcast at all. I started. He got me into King and the Sting when they were making phone calls to the was it the freaking the felons, right?
Yeah.
They were calling the lady felons and stuff, and they're like just asking them questions and shit. I was like, oh, this is pretty interesting. But like I always thought, like, because I thought a podcast was like, it was gonna be somebody talking about like makeup and shit like that. I thought that's what like a podcast was. Like I didn't know that there was like yeah. I didn't know that there was like a flavor for everybody's interest and stuff. Like there's literally a podcast on anything and everything out there. But as far as that's how we kind of got started. We got started as just bullshitting, and he's like, it was kind of just more along the lines of, I was like, man, we should try to do this, and he's like, I already got the name, bro.
Yeah. Damn, you got it all figured out.
He already had it. He already had it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And that's how kind of how we went about it. But for you, how did it work out? I know you said you had change of mindset and stuff like that, and had something happen to you. But how did you just like? How'd you take the plunge? Because we could go back and forth and kind of talk about that. So how'd you go like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna do it? What'd you start off with, or how'd you?
So fun fact, I wanted to start a podcast for like the past 3 years, and I just started in the beginning of April of this year. So there was a small build to it, but it was almost on the fact that there was so many people that I wanted to do it with, right? You guys are a duo. It's hard to find that.
Yeah.
Reality. So you guys should cherish that. You guys got partners that are equally interested in starting a podcast, right? So that was my thing on the level of, I want to start a podcast. So I would tell my homie, let's just, for one, Gil. I don't know if you guys know my homie Gil, 2D the One, raps and stuff like that. But I was like, yo, Gil, like, we should start a podcast. And he was like, yeah, I'm down. But, it never really came into fruition and stuff, because, if I didn't say anything, he wasn't going to say anything. And one, we didn't have anything figured out. But that was the moment where I was like, I want to start a podcast. I don't know what is it going to be about, but I want to start it. And then a year went by. I was working at 24 Hour Fitness. I still do, but I think that was last year, 2021. I had a friend at the time. His name was Zion. a very smart dude. And he was like, yo, like I want to start a podcast. I was like, yo, you know what? I want to start a podcast too. Let's go ahead and do it. We got a little bit closer to the step of almost starting it. We had like an outline. It was going to be called Something Light, Something Right podcast. And we were just going to talk about, just like anything really, but more on the lines of like, personal growth and stuff like that. It was close, but at the end of the day, when it came to, okay, let's get the equipment. Okay, now it's time to do it. Now it's time to put in the work behind the scenes. He was not as interested. He had other stuff going on and stuff like that with like personal training, PT and stuff like that. So I was like, it is what it is. But the common denominator of everything was the moment somebody didn't want to do it with me, I let that affect me also, So I was like, shit, he doesn't want to do it. I guess I won't do it. But in reality, it was something I wanted to do, So that was my struggle. I always felt like I needed somebody as a partner to start something with, right? So I was like, man, I just need somebody to do it. I don't know whether that was like the feel of failure or I just felt like the workload would be easier and stuff like that. There's so many probably mental things with me wanting to have a partner with it, which is beneficial, right? If you can have a partner with it, it does make things that much easier. But I mean, I can't let that affect me and what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I just I still didn't let it drag on of just having it being an idea. But then, like I said, when I had my DUI situation, I was like, shit, I'm not really doing anything. Let me go ahead and just do something that I want to do. I got to work on myself regardless. Why not go ahead and put it out, film it, and whatever I learn, whatever, like the progression of whatever you want to call this podcast, a personal journal or stuff like that, a way for me to learn from other people while kind of having their knowledge be projected on screen and putting it out into the world. Maybe somebody else can benefit from it also. So that was basically how I started, me wanting to start a podcast, but then me wanting to fix myself as a person and just learn and get better. Let me just document it. And that's how Ample Mind started. Basically, that's how I started.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Did you watch one and maybe take what would you call inspiration from anybody who was out there already? Because like I said, I mean, I kind of think we kind of took inspiration from I could say for my input into the deals like Fighter and the Kid and King of the Sting, where we talk about whatever the fuck we want to talk about.
Absolutely.
But we always and I feel like us two, even being a team and stuff, he has his own fucking views and I have my own views.
Facts,
and we don't.
That's what makes it a good show, though, right?
Yeah.
Makes it kind of.
That's what I kind of I had my idea with this. Is just that, Unusual Friends, where you have a group of people that are somehow friends, but we all have different views of life, of everything. He's one way and he portrays himself one way, and I portray myself another way. Or you look at me and you think, oh, this dude's you make an assumption, but then you get to know me and I'm like, oh, okay, he's not that bad. What I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah,
so that's where that idea came from us, at least,
Yeah, absolutely.
and just bringing people together, because it's we're friends with middle-aged guys. We're friends with teenagers and shit. You know what I mean?
Though.
And we have different aspects of of life, or different views of it. Or maybe some people are starting to get to know about life, but yet we can still come together and agree on certain things, and just hey, we're all humans. This is the world, and it's fucked up. But hey, we're here. Let's try to make it better, or take advantage of what we got.
Absolutely, and even with. I'm pretty sure, just in general, you guys kind of talking, you almost forget the camera's there, right? When it just comes to a conversation. And that's when I have people on, and in the beginning, it gets a little weird, right? Oh, camera's here, it gets a little nerve-wracking to kind of start it off. But once the ball gets rolling, it's almost just like a straight-up conversation.
Yeah.
Right? And you forget even the mics here and the cameras, and we're just chatting. So that's kind of the real kind of fulfilling factor I find about having a podcast, just being able to just talk.
Yeah.
Right? Get to know each other and just really just vibe out.
Hear somebody's story.
Exactly.
You do your and like a lot of the times too, there's some times where we'll have time to do research on our guests and stuff like that, but a lot of the times I kind of try not to do that kind of thing, because then the conversation doesn't come out to on social media. You know how it is, somebody portrays themselves to be one way and you look at that one way, you know what I mean? We've had guests who their social media portrays them to be certain way, and then you come and you sit down and talk to them and it's like, holy shit, we did not know that is you know what I mean? It's freaking 180 to their story to getting them to where they're at now was way more interesting than what they're doing on the gram and stuff, and it's crazy. That's one of the cool things about, you know, being able to have a show and, you know, just get to know somebody on that level. And that's what these mics do. They open people up, and
really
and
do,
you do freaking an hour conversation. You will hear somebody's fucking life story, and I've been like, holy shit, like just trip the
Yeah,
fuck
and you
out.
just learn new things about people. You know, we've
Really,
had people
though.
here that we've known, and then they come up with like stories and shit. We're like, oh shit, I forgot about that, or oh shit, I didn't hear about that one. You know, yeah, and that's the cool thing about it. Like you say, yeah, like we'll have people over, and it'll be like the first time they're like, you know, in front of cameras or recording or whatever, and we're like, oh, I don't know what to say, and we're like, dude, just fucking talk, man.
Yeah.
Just talk. You know what I mean? I know it's a little weird, but eventually, like you say, like we just start bullshitting and we'll just talk about random stuff, and then eventually you just forget. You know, you got these mics and these cameras in front of you, and then you just go along with it. You know, like you're just hanging out with the boys or, you know, with your friends, and you're just talking shit.
It's a beautiful thing about it.
Yeah.
Truly.
What would be a goal that you have for yourself within your first year of podcasting? What would you say is one thing you want to do this year to complete, like in your first year?
In my first year, that's a great question. Man, honestly, I just want to be able to have more interaction. That's my biggest thing for my first year, regardless of how many subscribers I got, regardless of how many views I get. At least whoever's viewing, I want them to interact, right? Because I want it to be community based, right? We're hopefully when they watch my podcast, we're learning together, and they're learning something. So, you know, maybe questions, or hey, I appreciate that, or like, you know, I just want to be more interactive with my listeners and, you know, my viewers. So yeah, in terms of like, you know, numbers and stuff like that, I'm not really worried about it, because at the end of the day, I know what comes with, you know, starting a small podcast, and it's like just starting out, right? Don't really worry about the views as long as you enjoy to do it and you're doing it for a reason. I mean, everything work out for itself, but it's not like that's where I'm taking it. I just really enjoyed, you know, filming and, you know, getting to know people and just talking behind the mic. And I posted a video on Instagram, you know, just like kind of like, you know, just the fun vibes that it brings, you know, just how much time I be laughing on there and stuff like that. So as far as, you know, my first goal within the year, just more interaction. More interaction. Comments, likes, all that.
Yeah, no, yeah. And I think that's pretty cool, because it's not that like we need it or whatever, but when you have interaction with, I guess, the people that you're providing a good for, you know, and come back and tell you, hey, I like this about it, or hey, maybe you should not do this, you know. And even like with our friends, like we'll talk about stuff, and they're like, certain people are like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't touch on, you know, those type of subjects or whatever. And yeah, and that's good, you know, good criticism. Like we always say too, like you'll know when like people have good criticism or when they're just fucking hating. You know what I mean? Like, you know off the bat when someone's just fucking hating.
Yeah.
So
that's actually a crazy thing to even talk about that. Like, have you ever got like crazy ass comments?
Not lately.
Yeah. Do you guys ever post on like YouTube Shorts, like little clips?
Nah, we haven't gotten into that.
So yeah, so that's what I do. You know, just so we kind of branch out a little bit. I'll post like little clips of my podcast, and then I'll put it on YouTube Shorts, and like I'll get more views than like the actual video.
Yeah.
But you'll get some like weird ass comments. I had a dude. I talked to one of my homeboys on my podcast. His name's Lorenzo, and he cleans credit, and he's good with like money. He's been working with banks for 10 plus years, and he went and branched out and started his own little business. So he was talking about it, right? And then I guess he had like a Balenciaga shirt on, and he was like talking some inspirational shit. And the guy commented, he was like, "Oh, you know, it's weird, you know, saying all that stuff, but he has a Balenciaga shirt on. He's like I don't know what he said. He's like a spoiled pussy or whatever he said." I was like, damn. I was like, yo. And I come out like, thanks for watching. You know, like fucking
hit him with a
thumbs up.
like,
Cool,
cool,
man. I'm about to go in an argument match.
Nah, yeah.
Because at the end of the day, they can just be trolls, man.
It could be, yeah.
So.
But I mean, that's we told people. Remember, we were talking with Chooch the other day with social media. You know, if you're posting shit on there, you got to be able to take some heat.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It is what it is. You know, it's the world we live in with the trolls and everything. And you know, you're gonna post something, someone's gonna make fun of you, man. It is what it is. Yeah, you know,
it's gotta be mentally tough for that.
Yeah, you know.
I even talked about it a little bit. I can actually I can understand like why, you know, not me, because I'm very like strong minded. Like at the end of the day, I don't really care. I'm not trying to cuss. I don't really care, right? But there's like people that will like sincerely get hurt and like be mentally like messed up about it. Like you know, like I guess like Tyler the Creator tweeted one time like how do you get like bullied? Like just walk away from the screen. But like now, like people can really get like messed up like that. Like all that, you know, that starts to like go in your head. but like all these people like hate him. But I mean, at the end of the day, if you guys are worried about that, whoever's listening, just it's not that serious. Just
It
go ahead and
really
just turn
isn't.
away.
Just
Everybody's gonna hate. You know,
yeah, turn your phone off,
Yeah,
turn
man,
your
that's
screen
it.
off, go do something else, and then come back at it later. You know.
Absolutely.
And then not only that, probably those people haven't been on the old school fucking Call of Duty lobbies.
Oh,
you know
man.
what I mean? Because back in the days, you
The
know,
good
used
old
to-
days, bro.
The good old days, we used to say some harmful ass shit, dude. Some not socially acceptable
No,
things.
bro.
You know what I mean? Things that'll get you banned off of
And
that
Modern
shit.
Warfare 2 days were, and the old one.
The old ones,
It's
fucking
like-
Black Ops and shit, dude, bro.
like 11, 12.
Oh my
Landed stuff.
god, man.
Fucking A, man. Well, fucking, where'd you grow up, bro?
Man, I grew up
who's Richie? Where'd Richie grow up, man?
Richie grew up in Harbor City, California.
Okay.
Just recently moved out this year.
Okay.
But yeah, man, born in Long Beach.
Okay.
From Long Beach, my mom took me to Mexico for 3 years.
Shit.
And came back at 3 years old. And then I lived in the same house in Harbor City on Bellport for 23 years.
Oh,
or
shit.
no, 21 years.
Okay.
Right, because I'm 24 now. So same block, same everything. Went to same school all in Harbor City, Narbonne High School, and then yeah, man, just grew up there. Skated with, started skateboarding growing up with pops and many others, and yeah, I was a skater hardcore for the longest. Right, my first YouTube channel was a skating channel. It's called Skate Informers, where we would just review like the latest skate products. And see if it was worth it for other people to buy.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And I got the inspiration from a basketball channel that was doing that a long time ago. It was called Kick Genius, and they would do that. They would just take whatever's out and they would review it and see if it's worth the money for people who's saving money to go ahead and buy like the latest stuff.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, we did that for skateboarding. We got shoes sent to us. It was getting to the point where we were getting shoes sent to us. And we got it. We reviewed it. They put it on their website. It was S. I don't know if you guys heard of S.
Yeah.
Shoe company.
Yeah.
Yeah, they go ahead and picked us up and they put it on their website, and we were getting good traction. But it was right around the time where I was falling out of love with skateboarding. So the only thing that was keeping me skateboarding was the content creating side of it. So that's what kind of like got my love for content creating and stuff like that. And that fell off, and then but grew up in Harbor City, man. Just my whole life, just being around the South Bay. That's where I've been.
That's what's up. What would be one piece of advice that you have for somebody thinking about getting into this?
Into podcasting. Me being relatively new, I guess the only thing I can say is just go ahead and start. Me, like I said, I told you guys I want to start a podcast 3 years prior, right? And me just starting now is like there's no perfect time to start. Just go ahead and start it. Whatever you have, I don't got like these big ass cameras like these guys. They got to throw an engineer and everything, but just whatever camera you got, start it, film it, whatever you can go from there. You can only get better, right? Just start that way. You can progressively get better, episode by episode. It's never perfect. Actually, fun fact, since it's very easy to talk to you guys when we're filming, right? But me starting out, my first episode was by myself.
Yeah.
So I'm just like talking and there's a mic there, so it's hard for me to get a rhythm to just talk to the camera. Man, I redid my first episode like 30 times.
Oh, no shit.
And those are like 20-minute episodes.
Oh, yeah.
Man, it's weird. Because I'll talk and then I'll feel like I stuttered and I'm like, cut.
Oh fuck,
I'm
yeah.
like, cut.
You started over.
But it's only because I'm by myself and it's like, it feels so like weird. I had to find that kind of level of not be so proper and be myself at the same time.
Yeah, just be comfortable.
Exactly, just be comfortable.
Yeah.
And I had to just learn to, okay, this is my 30th episode I'm refilming. At some point I gotta be genuine and just let this
Just
this
let it
go.
go,
Just
yeah.
put it out there, right?
I didn't even fucking really think about though. That's fucking tough, bro.
That's tough.
To be by your fucking
Yeah,
self,
man.
and you know what I mean. And
If you look at it, if in the the podcasting world or whatever, not many people do it by themselves. Like you have just the heavy hitters doing it by themselves.
It's tough.
Because it is like you're by yourself. You're talking, and then you have like dead air. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah, and just to
Oh,
pick
but
it up.
yeah,
Like-
and then
the transition.
like if you stutter, and then I can just come in and be like, oh, blah, 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 just make fun of you, and then we're going off of that,
Yeah.
So if you notice, like pretty much only the heavy hitters are doing it by themselves. Like you got like Theo Von, Crystalia.
well, shit. Even when
you know.
Theo Von did it by himself, that's what I was gonna bring up.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like not the same as Theo Von with people.
Yeah.
It's kind of a little bit like, okay, you
Like
know,
he's
this is
stretching, you know, he's like just grabbing stuff from here and just
Yeah.
trying to continue a flow, you know, and sometimes you can feel like it's pulling teeth, you know, but yeah, that's why if you're doing it by yourself, man, kudos to you, bro.
Yeah, man, the
'cause
flow
that can be
something.
pretty difficult.
Yeah, but I try to let go, right? Just let go and just put it out there, knowing that I'll get better over time.
Yeah.
And I did get better over time, right?
Mhm.
You know, 8 episodes in, I'm gonna go probably film one when I get home, and I'll just go ahead and just flow out and see what happens. But yeah, I mean, just the biggest thing is just to start, and worry about getting better, because you can only get better by continuously practicing. Just practice, and just do whatever you want to do. Don't worry about how many views you're getting. If you want to do this, just do it for yourself.
Yeah.
Because chances are not many people are going to watch.
Yeah.
You got to give them something to watch.
Yeah.
And that only comes with you getting better. Right?
Providing a product.
Substance, right?
Yeah.
Substance.
And I'll even touch on what you said, like, bro, even with the freaking cameras, right? Like, this, like, even if we go back to, like, when I started my own I have my little car one, right? And I filmed that with the fucking iPhone.
There it is.
And it's funny because, like, the second time when we went out and we actually invested in body mics, and, like, we had fucking the legit setup and everything like that, bro, that video did worse than the first video that I did on my iPhone.
Trash ass audio.
You know, it was just fucking, I had a fucking Rogue mic that clipped into the side of my freaking phone.
Right.
I had it on a gimbal, but I didn't put the fucking windsock on because I didn't know you could, you know, on the gimbal, you could put your phone sideways. So, like, you know, the video was, like, not bad. It was on an iPhone, but, like, the fucking sound was just shit because we were in a convertible, so the fucking wind was just eating up the fucking audio. Bro. It was but it fucking, you know, it did better than a video where I invested in the fucking what are they
gosh, what were their body mics
lapels, right?
Yeah, but what was the brand? It started with a G. It's like a German company. Oh, Behringer? I think with Behringer. I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah, we got that. We're like, oh, dude, this is gonna be sick. We're gonna fucking do well on this one. And then I didn't do my research on the fucking mics where I knew the product fully. You know what I mean? I just plugged it in. Video was fucking phenomenal.
Put one on himself. Put one on me.
One on myself. I'm fucking giving him questions. He's answering. We're going back and forth. And then when I'm going over the video, then I find out, oh shit, I had it on fucking mono. So my mic was on the left, his mic was on the right. And I was like, fuck, dude. And then it was literally just pushing the button again to fucking change it to stereo. And I was like, fuck, why didn't I fucking read the fucking instructions, blah, blah, this and that. And I was like, nah, fuck it. The video's still good enough. It's gonna fucking do well. When granted, it did okay, you know what I mean? But considering when you got another video that did like fucking 11,000 views or whatever, to this one that did like 1,000, it's like, you know, like, you know.
That shows, man.
And it's a little discouraging, like, believe it or not, like it is a little discouraging, you know. But when you think about it, it's like, well, fuck. Even though it's still like 600 people saw this shit, that's actually pretty cool if you think about it, you know.
Man.
Fuck.
Take it for what it is.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing, and then especially when you go from, we did the video after the first video that I did, I was like, okay, you know what? All right, cool. I have to film with the windsock. The audio got better. It didn't get like 100% better, like body mic wise, but like got better.
Yeah.
And I still filmed it on the iPhone, and that did better than the first one. And I was like, holy shit! Like, okay, this could work. So then that's when you're okay, we're doing better. And then I'm like, all right, cool. Now we're going to fucking go film hard in LA. We're going to go to all kinds of fucking famous locations over there in like LA. And then fucking it did not do the numbers that I thought it was going to do. Like I said, granted, it did well. Like it did fucking well, but then it was just like, holy
like expecting.
Yeah, well, we thought we were going to go.
Even more of a, increase.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen like
that. But that's the name of the game, you know?
Absolutely.
Sometimes you do well on a fucking stupid video, and then the one where you're like, all right, let's take this seriously. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And then that's the one that fucking, you know, that doesn't go follow the expectations that you had for it. But like you said, it's just more of continuously, you know, getting better, and just
you can never recreate those like random moments.
Yeah,
that people like. It's just it's impossible.
Yeah.
It's wild just to think that you would think, wow, just put it out there and it goes somewhere. Like, damn,
and it works.
That's fucking content creating though.
That's
content creating. Like again, like fucking highly produced a fucking birthday cruise for my grandfather for TikTok, right? Thought that was gonna hit. You know what hit? Me welding a fucking muffler
There it is,
on a dude's car who was there. That
That's
hit.
funny,
I was
bro.
like, "Are you
You
fucking
never
kidding me?"
expect- That's so dope.
Yeah, that's.
It was true.
That's how it is. Like,
We were at my we're at the old spot in Pico, and we're like, yeah, this shit's gonna be fucking sick, bro. Yeah, fucking, he was helping me out. It was like fucking 3 guys on one video. My nephew was watching it. He was there helping me edit it. We edited it. We put it on fucking TikTok. Fucking didn't do shit, bro.
That's hilarious.
Fucking I fucking auto did clip the videos of me welding the fucking exhaust at the fucking birthday cruise, and that hit.
Oh, that didn't happen.
I was like, oh, because I guess some guy, shout out Isaac, so he has a Bel Air. The fucking exhaust, I guess where they had the clips where it was onto the back of where it comes out the back of the car, it kind of, the welds gave out. So then he was like, hey man, like, do you have any chicken wire or like, wire that you could tie up my exhaust so I could get home? I'm like, yeah. So I brought out welding rod, like the gas welding rods, and he's like, hey, you have a welder? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh, well, can you weld it? And I'm like, I guess. No hood, no nothing, because all my shit was at work.
Yeah, and no gloves.
No
I think.
gloves.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything. I'm like, all right. I told this fool, hey, hold the fucking exhaust up while I get under here, and I fucking weld it up. And he's like, all right, fuck it. So we did it, right? That fucking video did better than the fucking
That's
fully
dope,
fucking
bro.
recorded.
That's dope. Yeah, I think that's worth going fucking viral. That's tight. That's just straight out the trunk.
But that's fucking content creating.
Yeah.
And the point that I'm getting back at it is you don't need all this to be fucking.
Yeah, you really don't. Like, if you want to just talk on a fucking camera, you can just use your phone. Use the audio off of your phone too. Yeah. Or you can just buy a $15 fucking mic that hooks up to your fucking phone. It's easy enough to do it. You can do it on the iMovie, app on your phone already, to edit
Easily.
it and all that.
Fun fact, I actually use my girlfriend's phone to edit my videos. I have Premiere Pro. Do you guys edit on a laptop, right?
Yeah.
What do you use?
I use Wondershare for
Wondershare.
video editing, and then but she uses for audio. She uses what is it, Pro Tools, right? Yeah, she uses Pro Tools because I guess that's what they taught her to, in school or whatever.
I use GarageBand for my audio, and then I use Premiere Pro only for the color grading.
Okay.
Because my Mac is so slow, bro. My thing is slow as hell, and like for some reason, anything over like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And I have a neon sign, right? I have a neon sign on the back of mine. It's like my logo and everything. It has like with my camera, I need a better lens, but my camera, it'll pick up the light going like, since I guess like our eyes can't really tell like how fast that neon light's flickering.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, so I'll get like waves of like, light when I'm talking with my guests. So I have to have a separate plug-in to take out that light flicker, which that takes a lot of, space and stuff like that. So on top of like all the little text I do and with the color grading and then just the audio on top of that, sometimes it'll take like 4 hours to render it and export it. One time that shit said 700 hours. I was like, that's like 7 days. I'm trying to put this out tomorrow.
Oh shit.
Like, dude, so I had to like, do my own little tricks behind it, right?
Yeah,
so I would do the color grading first. I would export it, and then I would put the audio and export it, and then I would edit everything else in terms of like little miscellaneous stuff, like little effects and little text. I'll do that all on my girl's phone, because then that way I can just put it out and export it again, and then I'll put it out. But yeah, just those little things that nobody knows, the behind the scenes of it, right?
Yeah.
Like, just putting it together. It's much more. At times, it's much more than kind of like you're just talking. Well, I mean, if you have like your audio engineer and stuff like that, but if you're editing it yourself, sometimes you got to do that overtime, because sometimes stay till like 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning editing.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Tell me about it, man.
Yeah, man.
Tell me
So
about
I'll be
it,
like,
dude.
Shoot. I'll be like, damn. And then sometimes I'll get like a little discouraged, but that's where you got to not do it for anybody else but yourself. Just put it out. Dope. So
Yeah.
I probably watch my shit more than anybody else. So I just like watching it sometimes.
I feel like it helps though. I feel like I watch, I have it playing in the background and stuff now, but I mean, I feel like watching the first couple episodes the first, I can honestly say like the first 20 I was on it. Like every time it would drop, I would watch it.
Yeah.
I feel like it helps you on the camera, okay, I don't want to do that. I look like an idiot when I do that. Maybe I
Yeah,
shouldn't sit like that.
facts.
Maybe, it helps you kind of critique yourself on how, you know, you want to how you want to speak on camera, how you want to kind of act on camera and stuff like that. I feel like it really helps when you watch your own videos.
For sure. Have you guys ever like when you guys first started out, have you guys ever kind of like judged yourself on how you guys talk?
100%.
So,
Oh, yeah, dude.
So when I first started, right? Well, I probably still do this, but one of my first episodes, or like the first ones I was starting, I said like a million times.
That's
I
the
was like,
first thing you notice. Is,
Yeah,
what do
it's
you
how-
say
yeah,
constantly? Oh yeah, for
constantly.
sure. Oh yeah, 100%. Like I know I
Yeah.
started noticing. I started saying a lot of these things because when you look like when you're talking to someone for like what 10 minutes, 15 minutes max, right? And then you have a
Exactly.
break and you go somewhere else, and then maybe you might talk to that person again.
Yeah.
But when you're talking for like 40 minutes. 50 minutes straight, you start noticing like maybe I should stop saying that shit. Maybe
Yeah.
I should stop, this. Maybe we should stop this.
Facts.
And then like you said, you just start critiquing yourself. But then it's like then it takes the fun away from it. You
Yeah,
know,
truly.
if you start trying to changing your mannerisms and
Well-
all that, and it's like, oh, are we really being genuine? You know,
Exactly.
so it's like, oh.
I was actually, my girlfriend told me, honestly, I didn't even notice it. So it's more on ourselves being our harshest critic.
Yeah, well, that's how it is. Yeah.
It's exactly how we just talk.
Yeah.
It's just a regular conversation.
Yeah.
But us being, our worst critic, sometimes, us trying to be professional or whatever it is, we just don't know. We're starting out. But I was like, damn, I said a million times.
Yeah.
And she was like, I don't even notice it. So I was like, okay, you know what? And then when I had a guest on, he was like, you know what? I feel like I said a million times. I was like, bro, I did not notice it. You know?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's honestly, it's just more of ourselves kind of being like,
Yeah, well,
overthinking it.
like you said, we're our worst critics. Ourselves. We criticize ourselves the most, and that's just how it is. We're harsh on ourselves. And then when someone else does it, you're like, you're good. And it's not that bad.
not
But
bad.
but then I'll be like, no, yeah, I fucking suck.
Yeah.
You know.
No, for real though. For real. But yeah, it's actually not as big deal as we made it out to seem in the beginning. So it's good to know that. Got that reassurance though.
Yeah.
Like, shit.
What would you say would be the hardest, or the most difficult time that you had when either recording or editing, or what's been the hardest thing to get by with this whole journey that you got going on?
Yeah, so far, I guess two things would probably be the beginning, right? When I told you guys I filmed that beginning episode like 30 times. When I was just like, any little thing, I cut it. So I was like, damn, am I really cut out for this? Like,
Yeah.
honestly, can I really talk behind this camera? But that's just me overthinking it. So that was like the biggest thing, just putting it out there. And like I said, I told you guys I had this mic. And I would record an episode, and then I would hear a loud hiss. Like, damn. But for me, I thought I'm pretty sure it is a great mic. I don't know what it is for me that I couldn't get it to work on my end.
Yeah.
But so I was like, dude, the last thing I would have thought it would be the mic. I was like, damn. But then I had my homie Gil come over. He makes music, so he has a way low quality mic, but he makes it work. It's the Audio Technica AT 2020. Have you guys heard about that? He had that, so we just plugged that one in instead. And I was like, what? So that what it was, my mic that I spent like $100 on. So yeah, I still have that mic. It's just to the side. I got a different one, a condenser, and that's just been working for me. So then I had to go ahead and work that out. So in terms of like just figuring everything out, like you said, you didn't really know the product to its full extent.
Yeah.
So you just kind of plugged it in and did what you did. So that's what I did. I got a whole bunch of stuff that I didn't really know how to use, and I just tried to go from there, just like use it. And then every time I'd be ready to film or like edit, something was wrong. So maybe I was kind of too eager to start, and I just didn't really know my product that much, so it made it harder in the beginning. And then we had the filming, and then me not being comfortable with the camera. And then the second part would be the editing, when it got to the point where I wanted to use my neon sign, and I didn't know what to do with that light flicker. I had to spend like $200 on a plugin. Shit. But I had to do it. At this point, I was like, the sign was like $400. So let me go ahead and, something's got to give. I got to fucking use the sign. So, yeah, it's just the editing, just little things that come up. It's obstacles, right?
Yeah, that you didn't
There's-
put to account to,
exactly.
and you thought like, I'll just put a camera, put a mic, we're good, Just the
Exactly.
little hurdles that come, and then it's the same thing with us that we talk about. How like little things like that, like learning the equipment. I spent countless hours on YouTube. Top 10 things to start a podcast. I saw all those videos. You know what I mean?
feel you.
And it was just figuring out. Well, like okay, I got one camera, it works, but I think I need a better one. You know, I think I need one that can autofocus when we're moving in and out and shit like that. Okay, so I did that. Okay, but then I want to have a guest. You know, it's gonna be kind of weird if we just have one camera, and then I'm looking at other podcasts, and then they have a single camera on just the one guest. You know what I mean? Okay, how do I do that? And then you just start looking into shit, and then you just go down the rabbit hole of just buying stuff. And
I feel you. I wanted a new lens, but the lenses are more expensive than the actual
cameras.
camera.
Yeah, it's the same thing like rifles. You know, when you buy a glass, what does it say, James? Spend same amount as it costs for the rifle, right? Double it. Yeah, you know, same things with cameras and lenses. Your camera's $3,000. You might be spending another $3,000 on the lens. You know, depending on what you're gonna use it for.
And that's the problem with us. We're very fortunate on what we do for a living, and
that we're able to, I guess, fund some hobbies. You know,
it funded the hobby.
And
we're not making no money on this at all.
Yeah, that's
we're
negative,
highly negative. I don't see it happening anytime soon either.
And that's what you got to come to grips with. Though.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, bro. Like, what do you think you're gonna blow up overnight?
Yeah, hell no, dude.
You better enjoy it. It should better be fun for you. For real though.
Yeah, dude. And then, like you said, like we've been lucky, or I guess we've been lucky enough to have these hobbies and be able to fulfill our dreams or whatever, to get whatever we want in a sense. But I've always been that guy where if I'm like I get a liking to something, I go all in. You know what I mean?
That's what you should do.
Like you said, like I got into skateboarding too. I had all the fucking decks. I had all the bearings. I had all the wheels, all the trucks. I had everything. My sister can, she can. When I get into something, when I got into like playing music and shit, I had like I still have like 6 or 7 guitars. You know what I mean? Do I play them all? No. You know what I mean? I got into motorcycles. I own 3. I can't ride them all. You know what I mean? But it's what I get into, and then I just fucking go balls out. Same thing with this. It's like, all right, we'll get into it, but I want to produce the best product that we can do, right? So dope. In order to do that, you don't have to have the most expensive shit, but you got to have good shit, you know? So then it's just getting this, getting that. Okay, I need this, but then I need to get this for that, and then it's just fucking just all goes in, and and like you said, we're fortunate enough to be able to make a good amount in our work that we can put to the side to help fund this, and hopefully, we'll continue that way.
Absolutely, yeah, man. Hopefully, bless. Quick question: does she have like sound things that she could push?
No.
Okay.
We haven't got to that part yet. We haven't got to that part yet.
Yeah, we can do that too. We can do that too. We would just, in order for us to hear it though, we need to have
the things,
the headphones.
So that's what I have actually. I have my own little sound card where I can just kind of press little things and I'll go from there, which is hilarious.
Yeah, little sound bites and stuff.
Yeah.
So back when I used to DJ. Like I said, I used to DJ. I had like a little soundboard with my little system too, and then it was like before, like you had the air horn and shit. Like I had it like on the iPad, and I had like little movie quotes and shit. So I'll be playing some shit, and I'll just drop like fucking Training Day, King Kong ain't got shit on me, and then I jump into the next song. It was pretty revolutionary at the time in the hood, dog. Like nobody really had that shit.
Yeah, no, but for real though, I can like take calls while we're filming.
Yeah.
Like show up and then I'll play music, and then if music's on the background, I talk. It lowers, but the music's still in the background. That shit is like.
Oh, nice. So what do you use as the recording?
I have it's actually really cheap. Mm-hmm. It's a cheap ass sound card. It's called the Guarda sound card, something like that. It's $100 on Amazon. I bought it. It has like 2 little ports for mics, but that's about it.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of myself, it's just me, and then sometimes I have a guest on there. Hopefully one day I can branch out and kind of see how I can get that thing, whatever that is.
Oh yeah, definitely. We'll show you some of the stuff that we got, so that way you can get some
absolutely.
ideas.
But I wanted a sound card for sure, because just low shit like that is so dope to me. Like clapping noise.
Yeah.
Especially because myself, I gotta spice it up a little bit.
Yeah. Especially being on your end, you gotta have a little something to throw in there to kind of
Yeah.
That's fucking dope though, man. I big ups to you for being able to fucking get behind a camera by yourself and just fucking make shit happen, bro. Because that's fucking, like I said, if any one of these links in the 3 are not here, our show really doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Either he's gonna do his own, because he has his own little deal that he does, and I do my own little thing. So it's like, but if for our main show that we have, you know what I mean, if one of the three is not here, then it doesn't happen.
Then it doesn't happen, you know.
Yeah, I feel you. But I mean, in terms of you guys as a collective, that big ups to you guys to being able to, like I said, I told you that I wanted to start a podcast with multiple people.
Yeah.
And it didn't go as planned, you know, because the motivation isn't there. You guys have, you know, a level of commitment to each other to get it going, and it shows, you know, how high tech you guys are. You know, so you guys don't see it, but you guys got it, and that's dope. So big ups to you guys.
Oh no, yeah, thanks,
shit
man.
is lit.
We really appreciate it, you know, and I think that's the point of it too, you know, to do something to be like, oh, like, you know, if someone watches it and be like, oh, that's pretty cool. Maybe I can do that shit too, you know.
Facts.
Maybe I can do it better, you know.
Yeah.
Cool, go ahead. That's where I told people, you know, there's a thing, you know, there's a fine line between hating and like admiring and still wanting to be better. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I can be like, you know, James, oh, he's doing good at this, but you know what? I can probably be better, but it's not like trying to one up him. It's just trying to, you know, better myself.
Absolutely.
And that's where I, like you said before, you know, your core friends or who do you surround yourself with? That's what's going to help you motivate to become better. You know what I mean? If you're
Absolutely.
hanging around with a bunch of lowlifes, you're going to, what do you expect? You're going to be
man,
a
there's
lowlife,
no-
you know what I mean?
There's no ceiling to that.
There isn't. So you got to surround yourself with some good people that help motivate you. And I think that's one of the, you know, the blessings that I had is I was hanging around with a bunch of dudes that eventually, you know, got their shit together and were doing well. And then I looked at them and I'm like, well, yeah, if they're able to do that, if they're able to do that, I can do it too. And maybe I can do better, you know?
There it is. That's super dope. At the end of the day, you just want to. That's just how shit progresses.
Yeah, it's life.
Through life. It's evolution. You know, everybody's inspired by somebody,
Yeah.
right? Whether that be basketball, you know, the evolution of basketball. You know, LeBron saw Michael Jordan. You know, Kobe saw Michael Jordan. That's how Kobe became Kobe. Without the people that come before you or the people that you look up to and things that are actually doing it, there's no hope for
Yeah.
for other people to come up. So yeah, you got to be able to inspire people and hope that they do better than you at some point in time. You know, some people are haters, and that's just life, right? There's
just
gonna be
how
people
it
that
is.
just want to see you down. Like, there's people that, you know, they wouldn't invite me. Like, you guys could not invite me to this podcast because oh, he has a podcast, you know.
Yeah, or
We're
think of it as like rivals or whatever.
Nah,
Nah,
man, there's
nah.
enough stuff for everybody to go around. And just
Exactly.
Oh man, this
say,
world
right?
is so fucking
Exactly,
huge, man.
dude.
There's plenty of room for anybody.
everybody.
Yeah, you know.
and their own little niche. So it's like, just do your best support.
Yeah,
And
and
it's super dope. And as soon as you hit me up, and I was like, that's tight. Like, I'm super down.
Yeah,
Oh, no,
and,
man.
You know?
and we've been meaning to have like other people that do like, you know, videos and stuff like that or podcasts, but the same thing. It's like, you know, it's getting the schedules right.
Absolutely.
You know, because people are busy. You know, we have work. You know, she has work, and then we all got to get together. Okay, it works for all three of us, but it doesn't work for the guests. So then it's
Exactly.
like, you know, and trying to fucking get the logistics. Or are we gonna go to them? Are they gonna come to us? You know, type of deal.
likewise.
Do they want to come over here? You know what I mean? Because you know, a lot of people aren't too familiar with this
Well,
area as
yeah.
well. You know, so
My
that's
mom goes
you
to
know.
fucking El Zócalo. Run down the street over, get her freaking masa. But yeah, bro, it's super dope. As far as, you know, just getting people in the schedule, that's for me too. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes I gotta find that fine line where I can, you know, have my own episode.
Yeah.
And because you think like, you know, I'm a very social person, right? I know a lot of people, and I'm able to get guests down. But in terms of like the scheduling, and there's some guests that I want to kind of save for a later date and time.
Yeah.
Just because I just think that it would be better suited for me to have them at a later point in time because it would just be more meaningful.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of, I think I'm trying to get one of my friends that we were doing. So his name's D-Trey. He's an actor, right? He's a very old actor. He's been doing it for like I want to say like 10, 15 years. And he's gotten like decent gigs. You know, he's been on like a billboard here and there. He's been on like a couple TV shows, not like well known, but enough for him to have that as a career.
Yeah.
You know, and then we worked on fun fact, we worked on this like recreation of like Jennifer Lopez's music videos.
Okay.
Yeah, it was wild. We had this black-owned producer. He has his own production company. It's very small, but he has his own things. Like, he does his own things, and he produces like his own little commercials and films. And I guess back in the day, he used to be like a background dancer or something around for J-Lo. And then like he like was supposed to like recreate their music videos, and we did the whole thing. Like, I thought we went, like, he set up his own little studio, and like we had the behind the scenes of it. But the thing is, like, I had to dance. And bro, I can't dance. But I was working at 24 Hour Fitness, and he came up to me. He was like, yo, like, he picked me because of my height and how I looked. Because I guess there was like a tall like white dude. I'm not white, but I look white.
Yeah.
So you know,
And you just fit the criteria.
I fit the criteria, and he was like, "Yo, do you mind doing this?" I was like, "Bro, I don't dance. Like, I do not dance." He was like, "No, don't worry about it. You ain't gotta dance." Well, I did go to rehearsals and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's all clips and cuts in terms of music video and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but you gotta dance, but if you can do something a little bit like. Kind of for what it looks like. You can just cut it real quick.
Yeah,
I was like that, and then just a quick cut. I was like, damn, he did that, you know.
Damn, he's like,
I'm
made me look
good,
bro. Good, bro.
No, bro. So like, it went through. I guess the full video never came out though, but I got to meet a lot of cool people behind that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I said, that's how I met D-Trey. You know, he's an actor. That's how I met Benji. Shout out Benji. He's a producer. He got me signed to a casting agency because I always wanted to act and stuff like that in terms of acting. So for me doing that favor for him, he got me a casting agency where I just get emails to like different things. But on my end, I never went to any of them. I only went to one casting. It was for like a hair salon thing. And that shit was wild, bro. Like it was some of the most crazy shit I've ever seen. I had to go to Calabasas and they had this hair salon like runway, like a live runway. And I went there. I was like, "Fuck it! They're gonna pay me $500 if I get picked for like 2 hours." Like, fuck it, bro. I went over there. There was 200 girls and guys combined.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Girls and guys combined. I went in there. My hair all nice, thinking I was gonna get picked. They throw you in like a cattle, like cows, just in the middle, just like these fucking girls and guys just talking. We're talking to like fellow people that's trying to get casted. They're like, "Yo, like how you get here, this and that." And there's two people picking the models. And they're just talking to themselves. They're not even looking at us or nothing. Not even talking to you. They're just looking at us, and we're just all like in the middle, like fucking like, no space and shit.
Yep.
And they come up to you, and they're like, "Hey, like the only time they talk to you is when they come up to you. They're like, "Hey, like do you mind getting your hair cut?" I was like, "Fuck it." Do you mind dyeing your hair pink? I was like, whatever. Just give me the money. And then that happened. It came down to 2 girls and 2 guys out of 200 people. They only picked 2 girls and 2 guys.
Okay.
I made it to the final 3, but then out of nowhere, this fucking handsome ass Ken doll came out of nowhere, 7 foot, fucking golden brown. I was like, damn. I was like, it's over. I'm not getting picked. Sure enough, he got picked, and I fucking left. But at the time, that was my only time for me to pursuing like some type of level of modeling acting.
Doing that, yeah.
It's just an interesting thing,
At
the time, I had a DUI, so my girl was driving me to that casting. So I didn't want to kind of put her through all that driving if I wasn't gonna get gigs and stuff like that. So I told myself I'd hold off on it until I got my car and stuff like that. But then I got my car and I just stopped going. So I don't know. That's something I kind of want to do again, but.
I mean, people don't realize like doing that stuff because I was in a couple music videos as well. One of them didn't ever come out, or they didn't even use the fucking scene I was in. And another one, like I come out on it, but like barely. And you don't realize like how hard it is to like you're there for fucking 12 hours at times, And maybe you're sitting down, not eating, just hanging out in the back for 4 hours, and they use you for like 30 minutes or. Depending on what the fucking part is, maybe they'll have you there for 4 hours filming and shit, and they only have you in for like 10 seconds, bro. What?
Probably dance my ass off. That shit did not come out. I mean, it came out in like little Instagram clips, but I think I thought it was supposed to be like a bigger video.
Yeah. But it's like when we did that commercial with the original pomade, you know what I mean? Like think of it like that, but times like 20. You know what I mean? Like it was hot as fuck that day when we were there filming, right? Just disgustingly hot, bro. Disgustingly, yeah.
Yeah, and I was
and sometimes, it could have been raining and we would have still been doing that shit, And one of the music videos I was in, it was nice and sunny, this and that, and then it just started raining hard, bro. And we're all outside, and we're like, well, I guess they're gonna cancel this shit. The guy's like, nope, we're still doing it. Fuck. He's like, we're gonna use this for our advantage. And it just like tied it in, I guess, to whatever they were fucking filming. And I was like, oh shit, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I always love doing skits and stuff like that. So that's kind of why I wanted to get into it. But it's tough. That's a tough industry to get into.
Oh man, and it's so fucking competitive, man. Like especially out here, everyone.
People come out here to be fucking actors and shit.
To be the next big thing, you know what I mean? And it's like, and then you'll be like, okay, So it's just, I don't know.
I actually didn't even know where I was going with that. I'm having a guest out.
You were talking about guests. Look, I'm gonna chime in on that, bro. don't be afraid to call people to have guests because you could always have them on for a part 2.
Yeah, facts, bro.
You know what I mean? That's why kind of like I would think about that, like, bro, because I hit up so many people. That's kind of like what I do. It's like I hit up so many people. Like even like there ain't a shot in hell it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
you know what? Hey, I've tried, and some people do get back to you. It's
Yeah.
fucking crazy. You know what I mean? It is.
We're still waiting on the reply from Beyonce as well. We reached out to her, but
Come
you
on,
know,
Beyonce, come down.
it's kind
I
of
feel
hard.
you.
You know, her schedule. I think she's in the middle of a tour. I don't think it works out for her right now.
Yeah,
you know?
right. She'll be back. No, yeah, easily though. Sometimes you just got to go ahead and shoot that shot, and you never know. But I mean, I kind of do want to kind of get more involved in like other creators also, just because it's always a fun like little conversation, you know, to kind
Yeah,
of
and it's networking, dude.
Exactly.
I'll tell you, like, you know, some of the guests that we had on here, they're like, hey, I know this person. I'll let them know, hit them up, you know, and then that's how it goes from there, you know, and then you meet these persons and they invite you somewhere. Oh, hey, I'm having this event over there. Shoot through. All right, we go, and then we meet a bunch of other people there, you know, so it's like have people on and talk to them, keep up with them, and then eventually, you know, not like you're using them as for your advantage, but sometimes you have to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
What
feel
did
that.
fucking MC Pancho say to us? God damn it, use me.
goddamn.
That's what he said. That's what he
That's
said.
Shout
to
out
him.
MC
Yeah.
Pancho.
That's dope.
But yeah, man, it's a crazy ride, and you know, like I said, I think the main thing is just be consistent with it, and that's pretty much like that's the main thing I think piece of advice I could give anybody is be consistent.
Absolutely.
And I'm the fucking worst at it because
I feel you,
I still
bro.
got a fucking episode in the books that I have to release on my fucking
I don't know.
on my
I
shit.
feel
Yeah,
you,
it's
bro.
been, you know when he filmed it? October.
Damn.
October,
Yo,
dog.
that's wild.
October.
Yeah, no, you're
You
tripping.
know,
And
we
and
had
then
some fucking-
and we have the evidence on this where he said in January I can film one of these videos a month, and I'll have it once a month.
I bought a fucking house, bro.
And
And
then-
fucking
and what
and it
happened,
wasn't
bro?
even like a regular
What happened, bro?
fucking fixer upper, bro. So I
What happened, bro?
You know what I mean? I didn't even have a fucking a
That's
laptop till December. So yeah, it's bear
What,
with
what
me.
happened?
man.
This man said he
let's put him
literally
on the
said
spot right now.
confident as fuck.
Let's put him on the
I
spot.
got
Give
this.
us a date.
I-
Right now.
Once
I
a
can't
month.
give- I can't.
Give
I
us a
can't
date,
give
man.
He learned his lesson.
I learned my
He
lesson.
learned his fucking lesson because one thing about James, he loves to fucking talk.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I got this. I
This
got
is
this.
what I do
and then
though because
fucking
I just fucking lay it all out there and whatever sticks and hits.
Hey, man, that's good.
Fucking, you know what I mean? Hey,
You gotta have more
fucking
hooks.
yeah,
You gotta have more hooks.
more
Likely to
hooks in the
catch
fucking
something.
water.
Yeah.
More likely to catch something. you
yeah,
know?
for
go.
sure. Yeah.
Hey man, it hits sometimes, bro.
Yeah.
When it hits,
And
it
well,
hits.
need
but
to
when
hit-
it hits, though, he lets you know. He fucking lets you know that.
That's what
Yeah,
we
see,
want
I
fucking
told you. I
basketball
told you.
parlays.
Fucking nigga.
That's hilarious.
You got anything coming up, Richie?
Me, personally, I just got, more podcast episodes in terms of myself. I'm actually at a 75 hard. Have you guys heard of 75 hard? 75 hard is like a mental, physical challenge where you just try to do your best to, no, you don't try, you got to do.
You gotta do.
Workout twice a day, one outside mandatory, read 10 pages a day, and drink a gallon of water a day, stick to a strict diet. That's just me trying to get better with my consistency and discipline because my discipline has been horrible. I talk about it in my podcast in terms of me, what is my biggest strength and what is my biggest weakness. And I always said my biggest strength is being self-aware, understanding I've never pointed the finger at anybody else for where I wasn't. Whatever I've earned. Whatever I haven't earned, it's because I haven't worked for it, right? I'm never to play the victim of my current situation. I know what it is. I can see the problem, but my biggest weakness cancels out my biggest strength because, yes, I know what it is, but I refuse. It's not I refuse to do it. I procrastinate, and for some reason, I don't do it, right? Whether, I don't know what it is. I've kind of attributed it to, me growing up, having a single mom just spoiling me. So I never had that sense of urgency in my life because everything was like, as poor as we were, my mother always made it seem we weren't as poor because she worked 2 jobs and stuff like that. So she gave me everything that I needed and more. But that kind of coddled me into a spoiled situation where I had to myself get out of that. And many people can do that, right?
Yeah.
When,
No, yeah.
they're just kind of in a situation where they're comfortable and they're just oblivious to it. Because why am I gonna pull the behind the curtains and understand that what's the real situation behind
Yeah,
it?
and why would I change when this is pretty
Everything's going
sweet?
so
You know,
well.
oh, this is
Yeah.
nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, why,
for real, like, I love it here.
Yeah, and that's why I tell people too. Like, one of the worst things you can be is comfortable.
Yeah,
you know what I
it's the
mean?
worst.
But it's cool. Like, yeah, you can be like nice and comfortable, but if you don't want to like grow and succeed, then that's fine. You know what I mean? But if you want to be more, be better, hey,
You gotta be uncomfortable.
keep going. You gotta make yourself uncomfortable. Sometimes you gotta go take that fucking dumb job that you don't want to,
You
that
have
pays
to,
for
man.
shit. You know what I mean? It's just something you gotta do.
It's the name of the game. It's progression.
Progression. That's the word. That's what we should probably blah, blah, blah. We should probably name this episode. You know what I mean? Progression.
Yeah, man.
And
But yeah, so those are my biggest strengths and weaknesses. But I don't even know where I was going with that. Also,
dude,
good, bro.
we're
But,
fucking going there.
yeah.
We're going. We're reaching there.
yeah, right. No, but what I got just just podcasts and me just currently trying to stay on the 75 hard. That's
Yeah.
what I was going with.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to Hawaii.
Oh, okay.
In July. So I'll probably have a podcast episode in Hawaii. I'll bring my neon sign through customs and we'll film out there. But yeah, just me constantly trying to get better with content creating, in some way, shape, or form. Always trying to push the envelope on my end
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So that's what it is.
Sweet. Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. Quick question though.
What's up?
What's your guys' most memorable episode together?
Most
or
memorable
favorite?
episode.
Together.
Yes, in terms of Unusual Friends. In this history.
It's a fucking good question.
That is pretty good because we've had some pretty good
man.
episodes that I think I like. Off the top of my head, the MC Pancho episode.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was-
shout out
That was
to-
when, yeah,
That's-
when we had him on, because I mean we were fucking nobodies, and he's big time legend here in the Harbor area. And
That's dope.
that was a good one because we all worked together. We all kind of it went so right, and I feel like we all knew as a team, like, damn, we could do this shit.
Yeah, and then because I would say in the sense he is like a high profile, person in
Actor.
the sense,
Accredited
actor,
actor.
fucking musician, been on everything. So we did our research on him, mostly him. Like he looked up like all in his life, all his fucking mixtapes, what he did with that magazine. What was it called?
Teen Angel.
Yeah, Teen Angel. All you looked up all the podcast interviews he's done before. So we were on it, and then like we got all our shit together. Like, hey, our camera's got to be fucking legit. Our audio's got to be legit. So that was a good episode in terms of like like preparedness that we were, and then how we executed and it went out. Like it all went smoothly. But then another good episode would be probably when we had Lindsay.
Blue Collar
Barbie,
That was a good
which is an example of someone that, we had this idea of who she was. Some girl on Instagram that it had a, was it a Jimmy? Yeah,
she had a Jimmy. I met her in the car community, and she had a,
dope.
sick ass little truck and stuff. And then, oh, hey, she's in fabricating and welding. That's sick. We kind of like that shit too. But then she sat here and she told us her life story, and we're like, holy shit, like we did not expect this, and it just
I
just
feel
changed
that.
the conversation, and then just made the episode that that it is. And it's one of our biggest episodes where in terms of we did an interview with someone. It's probably the biggest one that we have.
That's dope.
That's a pretty good one too. Then who else? I think pretty much I like all of them, especially when we have guests on, because you learn a lot of you learn from these people.
Yeah, they each have something different to bring.
Absolutely. And then like you expect them to be a certain way, but then you learn that hey, they're just like us. You know what I mean? They like to bullshit. They like to talk shit about this and that. What's going on, and I think that's the beauty of it.
That's
Getting to
super
learn,
dope.
getting to know people and learn from this. And like I said, we don't make fucking money off of this
Yeah,
shit.
for
Nobody
real,
does.
though.
It's always in the top 1% that do.
Absolutely.
But I think at the end of the day, if we're able to make some memories off of this shit and meet cool people,
and that's
fuck
that's
it,
what
dude.
It is.
That's worth it.
Like
That's
I could
worth
say,
it.
like one of the memories of all time, like today, like being able to, like you saying, you go to Hawaii, right?
Yeah.
I went to Hawaii and I filmed the podcast in Hawaii, and I got to fucking
There it
cruise
is, man.
fucking downtown Waikiki in a 64 Impala. Like
Fire.
when I didn't even know the
Yeah.
fucking guy. Just because we do this and we had a fucking catalog of our work, the dude was like, okay, they're legit. You know what I mean? I'm gonna fucking fuck with this guy. You know what I mean? And just shit like that is like, when the fuck is that ever gonna happen?
True.
You know what I
that.
mean?
That's so dope. That's hella sick.
But yeah, I mean, fuck it. It's the name of the game. It's just that's what it's all about. Is making memories. I feel like.
Making memories, talking, having great conversations.
Yeah,
True.
yeah, go right there. One last thing for you, man. What would be like, say, if you can have anyone on your show, what would be your dream guest?
My dream. That is a great.
Anyone, dog. Anyone.
You know what?
Shit, I just kicked.
I'd probably have Inky Johnson on my
Johnson.
podcast.
Who's that?
So Inky Johnson, he's actually one of my biggest inspirations in terms of the podcast. So I think you asked that question. I don't know if I told you, but it's a dude that was playing football in college, and he was about like 7 days away from the NFL draft. He already got confirmation that he was going first round, and he's making money. But he started off very, very poor. Mother working jobs and stuff like that. His dad wasn't around until he sought out his dad to help him train for football. And then he, just worked, and he was living in a small ass apartment, and understanding that he's 7 days away to take care of his family. But he played every game like it was his last, so he played just as hard. So his last, I think, game before the NFL draft, he went and hit somebody. He was on defense. He went and hit somebody, and I guess like he pinched a nerve, and then like he just fell. And it turns out he like busted his clavien artery, and his whole right side of his body is just paralyzed.
Damn.
So his dream NFL was done. Can't play anymore. But in terms of himself, he just had a certain level of work ethic and character that didn't define him, and somehow he ended up being, a motivational speaker and making a living off that way. So yeah, he has a lot of core values I try to instill in myself. Regardless of the circumstances or however it change, if you say you're gonna do something, go ahead and do it. So I guess for sure that would be my dream guest. I hit him up on Instagram. Inky Johnson, hit me up, man.
Yeah,
It is
man.
funny.
You
It was
never know, man.
It was the first week that I started. It's funny as fuck.
Yeah.
It was my first episode. I was like, hey, I started this podcast because you come back with me. But yeah, no, for sure that would probably be my dream guest, because that would be emotional as hell for me, for real.
Amen.
So one day, let's try to manifest.
Hey, yeah, manifest it and just keep doing what you're doing, and eventually,
man.
they'll probably hit you up. You know what I mean?
Man,
That's
one
right.
day.
Yeah,
I got one more for you guys too.
What's up?
Since we're collabing, what I do on my podcast with my guest is what I just kind of spoke about, both of you guys, in terms of yourself. What do you feel that your biggest strength is, in terms of, okay, I have a quality about me, or I have a routine about me that I feel like is good. I'm glad that I have this about myself, and it's a foundation I can build on to further my success and whatever you want to do, or just be better as a person. Go ahead and tell me that. And along the side, on the other edge of the spectrum, is what do you feel like that you're kind of slacking on, that you might need to pick up, that can kind of further you into whatever you want to do, or just to help you be better as a person overall? You guys can,
That's easy.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's easy. I can talk to people, and people feel comfortable enough to talk to me, and that's one of my biggest strengths. I feel is just I feel like I was given the gift of gab, but on the other end, I feel like I take on too much, and that's my biggest, because I take on so much. It's like, fuck. Like I said, whatever sticks. I make it work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I make it work, but at the end of the day, too, I take on so much that it's just that's my biggest weakness, is just kind of trying to make the more important things stick, and the other shit that kind of should stick too is like, I got to kind of pick and choose my battles.
I feel you.
Mine.
Is there anything you kind of want? Is that something you want to improve, or do you think you can go about that on improving, or are you just like, fuck it, that's just?
I mean, I feel like I would want to improve it, but is it gonna happen, bro? I really don't know.
You don't know.
I
man.
don't know. And like I said, I'm the other thing is I'm 100% honest, bro.
Facts. You got to be, man.
I'm the way I am. It's kind of like I said, I would like to improve on it. I try, but it's
think about that. You never know. You might come to a solution one day. You never know. What about you, bro?
Me, to what I'm good at, I think is probably what are they saying? Maybe how people see me. You know what I mean? Off the bat, you look at me, and you're like, okay, what's up with this dude? You know what I mean? But once I get to talking to people and and showing hey, I grew up in the hood. You know what I mean? Hey, but I'm a different avenue of that, and I've always wanted to change people's minds in the fact of hey, you can look a certain way, you can speak a certain way, but you can also be a good person.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And it happens. Family members, this and that, they judge you for what you do, blah blah blah, how you act, and but they don't know you to the core, to where you're a good person. And I know I'm a good person. I can say that through and through. I can go to sleep fucking sound and saying yeah, I did good today. You know what I mean? And I'll continue to do good. One thing that I need to work on is probably fucking be more sociable. Because like he said, that's his strength, where he can go ahead and just talk to a random person. I can't, you know what I mean? So once I conversate with a person, I meet them, and this, we're having a little small dialogue, then I feel comfortable opening up to them. You know what I mean?
Over this podcast,
Yeah, so that's why you kind of notice, like, I kind of talk more towards the end, because then it's like, okay, now I can fucking throw it in there,
I feel that. That's dope, bro.
And I think that's probably one thing that I should work on. And then could I improve on it? And yeah, we can always improve on anything. You know what I mean? And same thing, like I told people, if you're comfortable, then you're not, you're not progressing. So
growing.
If you're okay with being comfortable, perfect, dude. Like I say, in this world, we can't all be CEOs, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Man,
we need to have people under here taking care. We need dishwashers. We need landscapers. We need all that. If you're okay with living like that, perfect. Good for you. I my hat's off to you. But if you want to continue on and be better and be bigger and provide or help other people, keep going, man.
That's good. Hey, well said, brother.
Right?
Well said. That was a good deal.
Cool, man. I guess we'll go ahead and end it there, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. We'll see where this goes.
Thank you for having me.
Later.
Yeah.